Now the race for mayor of Hartford. 2007's Republican nominee is back to run again, but this time as a Democrat. He is Stan McCauley. And Mr. McCauley, good to see you back here on the program.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, why the switch of parties?
Well, you know, it's a good question, and one I'm asked often, and I'll certainly appreciate the opportunity to put that out there on the record. You know, I see myself as a citizen. Until I'm elected mayor, as far as I'm concerned, all politicians work for me. I'm part of the We the People group. And to the degree that, you know, you want to make an effective inroads in government, particularly in Hartford, you can't do it as a Republican. And so the Republicans gave me the opportunity, took advantage of it, but it's quite clear that if you want to do anything as it relates to politics in Hartford, on the policy side or, you know, being an executive, you've got to do it as a Democrat.
Because there just aren't enough Republicans to elect someone, you're saying?
There's not only enough Republicans to elect someone to the office, but the infrastructure, all of the mechanisms of politics in the city are Democrat.
Because 4 years ago you had said that after 40 years of Democratic rule, it was time to let the Republicans take over.
I did say that, and I, you know, had an interview with the 7th District. The same question came up, and I said the same thing. After all of these years of what I would consider malfeasance, nonfeasance, misfeasance, and quite frankly stupidity, we still need a change in leadership in Hartford government. I believe I'm that change.
So you're going to be basically urging people to replace the current mayor, Pedro Segarra, with you. What's the argument to vote against Mayor Segarra?
If Mayor Segarra went in there, did like he did when he swore the oath of office, and cleaned house, my desire to continue this race might have been somewhat muted, because he sounded good coming out of the gate. The problem is that we've changed the leader, but not the infrastructure of the incompetence, which is Hartford's municipal government. And so it sends the signal to me that there is either an inability to make those changes or an unwillingness to make those changes. But until they're made, a clean sweep, you're not going to change the direction of Hartford.
Specifically, who should he have changed?
As far as I'm concerned, if it was up to me, everyone that reports and serves at the pleasure of the mayor, across the board.
Police chief?
That's a good subject. In light of current events, I'll say publicly yes.
Communications director?
Definitely.
Who else? All these people should have been...
Public Works.
Okay.
Everyone. I kind of like the approach that you have at the executive level of the federal government. The administration has been, you know, elected to carry out the will of the people. If the chief elected official does not have the support of his staff and the department heads who are helping him execute his charge, they're going to be working against you. I believe that is the case with the current mayor.
The protege of former Mayor Eddie Perez, Kelvin Roldan, was on this program last month. I know you watched the interview. What did you come out of that with? Did you believe he was telling the truth?
Less than truthful.
Is he fit to be mayor?
No.
If elected, what's the first thing you'll do?
Everyone that serves at the pleasure of the mayor will be gone, most certainly. Now, if I'm elected mayor, the first thing I'm going to do is implement my plan to make Hartford one of the top 10 small cities in the United States. Economic development is going to be my chief and #1 focus, because Hartford is a great city and it can be turned around. It is, the beauty of Hartford being as small as it is that this city is most certainly salvageable, but it's going to need strong leadership and it's going to need integrity to be brought back to the office of the mayor.
As you know, the present administration oversaw the loss of at least 4 major companies.
Yes. During
that period, leaving a big gap in the tax revenue in the city. What would you do to try to get some companies to come back?
Well, I have been in, how shall we say, conversations, you really can't call them negotiations, with an individual, Hartford born and bred, who is very desirous of coming back to Hartford. When he found out that I was running for mayor, he thought this might be a good opportunity. If a change in municipal leadership could happen, where you're going to get an even shake, someone that is pro-business, but at the same time socially responsible and pro-community, he would bring his company here. He's a Ben and Jerry's kind of a guy, Paul Newman, who believes that the essence of companies isn't solely profit, but also to invest in human capital. And I say that to say this. By his coming, it then gives me the strength that I need to say to other companies, look, there's a significant change in Hartford. We're under new management, and you can rest assured that coming here, there's going to be a better service and more focus on changing some of the social dynamics in Hartford to keep it the fourth poorest city in the United States, and thus a city that most companies don't want to relocate to.
Well, let's talk about some of these other candidates. Sean Wooden. What do you think of him as a candidate?
First time out, I think he's got a bright future as a politico. I don't see him being mayor.
Edwin Vargas?
Edwin Vargas, great union guy, and if you're looking for a union leader to be your mayor, I guess he would be the one. I don't think he would be a great candidate.
And earlier in our interview, you mentioned that you didn't think Kelvin Roldan was fit to be mayor. Why not?
He was less than truthful, and you've got to have honesty and integrity if you want to serve at the will of the people in that office. Coming out of the previous administration and an inability to mention one thing wrong, I found extremely troubling, and to me that disqualifies him for service.
What is your strategy to be elected?
Our strategy for being elected is having a team of people who are so vested in this campaign that they don't need to be paid. So I don't need $150,000, $200,000 because Hartford is not going to be bought or purchased. The people want to see someone who's vested in them, who's willing to put the time that's necessary to say, look, I'm here to be your representative. I'm applying to work for you.
In the last 50 years, Hartford's lost about 50,000 people in its population. That's huge. What would you do to try to get people to move back?
Well, first, Hartford has to become a city that is safe. And also, we need to be a city that attracts...
Most people would say that it is safe. Most of the victims of crime are not, wholly innocent in many cases.
Well, that's true, a victim of your lifestyle, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is true. But the perception is that Hartford is unsafe. But having said that, I think the bigger thing is economic development and the need for our young people to have purpose and hope in job fields. I think the biggest thing Hartford has is, and Connecticut, quite frankly, is its inability to retain young workers because you just graduated from, let's say, bioscience or whatever. Where are you going to get that kind of a job? And young people gravitate to where they can get the jobs and where they can get the work more than where they can live.
Stan McCauley, Democrat for mayor. We'll see you on this program again. We hope to have a debate sometime this summer. Best of luck.
I look forward to it.
Thanks for watching this Sunday. I'm Dennis House, inviting you to join us each and every Sunday morning when more newsmakers will face the state. And don't forget you can comment about today's program on my blog, Twitter, or Facebook. Have a great day, everybody.